There is a silent law operating beneath every social interaction, every relationship, every negotiation, every pursuit of desire. A law so obvious once seen, yet invisible to those trapped inside it. The man who chases has already lost. The man who stands still becomes the prize. Most men are taught the opposite. They are taught to pursue harder, explain more, prove their worth, show effort, show interest, show emotion. They believe that chasing signals value. In reality, chasing signals need. And need is the most repulsive scent in the human nervous system. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this long before dating coaches, psychologists, or modern self-help gurus existed. He observed something brutal but true. People desire what they cannot control, and they devalue what they already possess. The moment you chase, you surrender leverage. The moment you withdraw, you create gravity. Think about this carefully. Why does a product become more desirable when it is scarce? Why does attention increase when access is limited? Why do powerful men never seem desperate for approval, affection, or validation? Because scarcity is interpreted by the brain as value. Availability is interpreted as surplus, and surplus is ignored. When you chase someone, you are telling them, without words, that your life is empty enough to revolve around them. You are saying, "You are the source of my emotional regulation." That is not attractive. That is not powerful. That is dependency. And dependency flips the hierarchy instantly. Machiavelli warned that men are driven not by logic, but by perception. He did not care how noble your intentions were. He cared how your behavior was interpreted by others. And chasing is interpreted as weakness, even if no one admits it out loud. People may enjoy being chased temporarily, but they do not respect the chaser. And without respect, attraction always decays. This is why the dynamic always reverses. At first, the chaser feels hopeful. Texts first. He initiates. He explains himself. He adjusts his schedule. He gives reassurance. And slowly, subtly, power shifts. The chased becomes slower to respond, less invested, more selective, eventually indifferent. Because your effort trained them to relax. Your pursuit trained them to sit back. The man who does not chase operates from a different frame. His life is already full, his time already allocated, his attention already valuable. When he shows interest, it is measured. When he withdraws, it is silent. There is no protest, no emotional spill, no dramatic exit, just absence. And absence is the loudest signal of all. The human mind cannot tolerate unresolved tension. When someone pulls away without explanation, the brain fills the gap with obsession. Questions arise. Did I lose value? Is there someone else? What does he know that I don't? This uncertainty activates pursuit, not because you demanded it, but because you triggered it. This is the paradox Machiavelli understood. Power does not announce itself. It creates reactions without moving. The lion does not chase flies. The throne does not beg subjects. The king does not explain his worth. His stillness does the work. Men who chase believe effort creates attraction. Men who understand power know that self-containment creates pull. This is not about manipulation. It is about alignment with human nature. You cannot negotiate desire. You cannot argue someone into valuing you. You cannot chase respect into existence. The more you pursue externally, the more you signal internal scarcity. And here is the hardest truth. If someone only values you when you are chasing, they never valued you at all. They valued the ego boost. They valued the attention. They valued the control. When you stop chasing and they disappear, nothing was lost. In this first part, you must understand the foundation. Chasing is an emotional leak. It hands control to whoever receives it. The moment you stop chasing is the moment the dynamic destabilizes. And unstable dynamics always seek balance, often by pulling the power back toward the one who withdrew. In the next part, we will break down why silence and non-reaction create obsession, and why emotionally disciplined men become unforgettable without trying. Stay still. The chase begins when you stop running. Why silence creates pursuit. When you stop chasing, something uncomfortable happens, not for you, but for them. Silence enters the space where reassurance used to live. And silence is not neutral. Silence is pressure. Most men fear silence because they misunderstand it. They think silence means losing ground, missing chances, letting others slip away. In reality, silence is the moment when power begins to concentrate. It removes predictability. It removes control. And human beings panic when control disappears. Machiavelli understood that people are not disturbed by hostility as much as they are disturbed by uncertainty. An enemy who attacks is visible. A man who explains himself is readable. But a man who withdraws without explanation becomes a problem the mind cannot solve. Here is the psychological mechanism. When you react quickly, replying, clarifying, fixing, apologizing, you close loops. You relieve tension. You give certainty. And certainty kills desire. The brain stops working when everything is explained. Silence does the opposite. It opens loops. It creates unfinished stories. The mind hates unfinished stories. It will replay conversations, analyze tone, search for meaning, invent narratives. All of that mental energy is now directed toward you without you doing anything. This is why emotionally controlled men seem mysterious, not because they are hiding secrets, but because they refuse to leak information unnecessarily. They do not rush to correct misunderstandings. They do not scramble to secure approval. They let perception sit unresolved. And unresolved perception turns into fixation. Notice how the dynamic flips. When you were chasing, you were the one thinking constantly. Now, when you pull back, they begin thinking. They check their phone. They reread messages. They wonder why the energy shifted. The moment you stop explaining, they start interpreting. This is not manipulation. This is cause and effect. People assume that interest must be proven through effort. In reality, interest is proven through restraint. Anyone can pursue. Very few can walk away calmly. That calm withdrawal signals abundance. It signals options. It signals that your emotional survival does not depend on one outcome. And the human mind is wired to pursue what appears independent. Silence also exposes intentions. When you stop reacting, fake interest collapses. Those who only enjoyed attention disappear. Those who genuinely value you step forward. Silence filters reality faster than confrontation ever could. Another crucial element. Silence restores your internal authority. The man who reacts constantly is governed by external stimuli. The man who pauses chooses his response. That pause is the difference between being led and leading. Machiavelli wrote that the wise man governs himself before attempting to govern others. Silence is self-governance in action. It is the refusal to be dragged into emotional labor that benefits someone else more than you. And here is the dangerous part for those on the other side. Silence forces accountability. When you no longer chase, others must confront their own effort, their own inconsistency, their own fear of loss. Many cannot tolerate that mirror, so they chase. Not because you demanded it, but because your absence revealed a gap they didn't know how to fill. Do not confuse silence with coldness. Silence is not punishment. It is composure. It is containment. It is emotional sovereignty. You are not withholding to control. You are withholding because nothing needs to be proven. In this stage, many men break. They feel the urge to check in, to explain the silence, to soften it. That single message resets the hierarchy. It tells the other person that your stillness was not strength, it was anxiety. Resist that urge. Silence must be clean. No passive aggression, no cryptic posts, no indirect signals. Just presence withdrawn, attention reclaimed. In the next part, we will examine why men who don't chase are perceived as higher status, and how status, not effort, is what ultimately pulls others toward you. Stillness is not emptiness, it is pressure. Why status, not effort, creates attraction. Chasing fails for one simple reason. Attraction follows status, not effort. The human nervous system is constantly ranking. It asks one question beneath every interaction. Who has leverage here? The answer determines respect, desire, and pursuit. Effort signals investment. Status signals surplus. When you chase, you show investment without surplus. That imbalance reads as need. When you don't chase, you signal surplus without explanation. That reads as value. High-status men do not compete for attention. Attention competes for them. They move slower. They speak less. They don't rush to prove alignment. Their calm implies options, and options are power. This is why the same words land differently depending on who says them. A compliment from a needy man feels heavy. The same compliment from a grounded man feels rare. The difference is not intention, it's position. Status is communicated silently through boundaries. When you don't overextend, don't overtext, don't overexplain, you set a frame. Access to me is earned. People rise to that frame or fall away from it. Most men sabotage themselves by trying to lock it in. They rush certainty. They push closeness. They collapse space. But space is what allows value to be felt. Remove the space, and value suffocates. This is not cruelty, it's calibration. When you stop chasing, force reality to reveal itself. If someone values you, they step forward. If they don't, they disappear. Either outcome is a win, because clarity replaces anxiety. In the next part, we'll expose the emotional traps that pull men back into chasing and how to dismantle them permanently. The emotional traps that drag men back into chasing. Most men don't return to chasing because they suddenly forget the rules of power. They return because something inside them panics. An old emotional reflex wakes up and hijacks logic. To stop chasing permanently, You must understand these traps, not intellectually, but psychologically. The first trap is fear of loss. When silence stretches and no response comes back, the mind fills the void with catastrophic stories. I waited too long. I ruined it. They're losing interest. This fear has nothing to do with the other person. It is your nervous system craving certainty. Chasing becomes a way to self-soothe anxiety, not to create attraction. The moment you text to fix the tension, you reveal the truth. The silence wasn't strength. It was withdrawal panic. The second trap is ego validation. Many men chase not because they want the person, but because they want to win. They want proof that they are desired. When attention slows, it feels like a verdict on their worth. So they pursue harder, trying to reclaim the feeling of being chosen. But desire does not respond to ego hunger. It recoils from it. The more you chase validation, the more you broadcast insecurity. The third trap is emotional sunk cost. You've invested time, energy, vulnerability. Walking away feels like admitting failure, so you double down. You chase to justify past effort. This is the same psychology that keeps gamblers at a losing table. Machiavelli would call this a fatal error, confusing pride with strategy. Power requires abandoning losing positions without drama. The fourth trap is moral conditioning. Men are taught that persistence is noble, that effort proves character, that walking away is weakness. This is a lie that benefits everyone except the man who believes it. Persistence without leverage is not virtue, it is submission. Walking away from imbalance is not weakness, it is self-respect. The fifth trap is hope addiction. Hope is dangerous when it replaces observation. Men chase because they imagine potential rather than reading reality. Maybe if I do one more thing, maybe if I explain better, maybe if I'm patient. Hope keeps you emotionally invested while nothing changes. Machiavelli warned against this illusion. He trusted patterns, not promises. All these traps share one root: emotional dependence. Chasing is the behavior of a man whose internal stability depends on external response. The cure is not pretending you don't care. The cure is building a life where silence does not threaten your identity. This is why powerful men are hard to shake. Their sense of self is anchored internally. They don't chase, because nothing collapses when they stop moving. Their days are full. Their direction is clear. Their worth is not negotiated through attention. Here is the discipline. When the urge to chase appears, do nothing. Not forever, just long enough for the urge to pass. Most urges peak and die within minutes. If you act immediately, you obey the urge. If you wait, you regain command. Chasing feels urgent. Power feels slow. Every time you resist chasing, you retrain your nervous system. You teach it that discomfort is survivable, that uncertainty does not equal danger, that silence does not equal loss. And once your nervous system learns this, the urge fades permanently. In the next part, we will examine what actually happens when you stop chasing consistently, how people respond, how dynamics reverse, and why some will suddenly return when it's already too late. Stillness is not passivity. It is restraint under pressure. What actually happens when you stop chasing? When a man truly stops chasing, not as a tactic, but as a state, reality reorganizes around him. Not immediately, not dramatically, but unmistakably. The first thing that happens is silence. And that silence is not empty. It is diagnostic. Those who were feeding on your attention feel the withdrawal instantly. The rhythm changes. The supply line is cut. Some will test the boundary with casual messages, half efforts, or bait disguised as concern. "Hey, stranger, you've been quiet." These are not acts of interest. They are probes. They want to see if the old dynamic still works. If you respond eagerly, the hierarchy snaps back into place. If you respond calmly, or not at all, the test escalates. This is where many men panic. They mistake escalation for attraction. It is not. It is loss of control trying to reassert itself. The second thing that happens is role reversal. When you no longer initiate, others must decide whether to invest. Some will step forward. They will initiate plans. They will ask questions. They will mirror the effort you once gave. This is not coincidence. It is compensation. They are restoring balance because imbalance makes people uneasy. Others will vanish, quietly, permanently. This is not failure. This is filtration. When attention is no longer free, only those who value it pay the price of pursuit. Everyone else leaves the store. The third thing that happens is respect replaces anxiety. Chasing creates emotional volatility. Stopping creates stability. People trust what feels solid. They relax around men who don't need reassurance. They listen more closely. They speak more carefully. Not because you demanded it, but because your behavior recalibrated the frame. This is where many men make a critical mistake. When someone returns after distance, they rush to reward it. They overcorrect. They flood the space with availability. This collapses the structure you built. Power is not proven by reunion. It is proven by consistency. Consistency means you don't punish, but you don't compensate either. You remain the same man, with or without them. Calm, grounded, unmoved. The fourth thing that happens is internal. Your self-respect solidifies. When you stop chasing, you stop negotiating your worth. You no longer outsource your emotional regulation. You feel the difference immediately. Sleep improves. Focus returns. Decisions become cleaner. You stop replaying conversations in your head. You stop waiting. Waiting is what chasing trains you to do. The fifth thing that happens is subtle but powerful. Your standards rise. When you are no longer chasing, you begin evaluating. You notice effort. You notice alignment. You notice who adds energy and who drains it. This shifts your identity from seeker to selector. Machiavelli understood this pivot. The prince does not beg alliances, he evaluates them. He does not prove loyalty, he tests it. When you stop chasing, you stop auditioning for roles. Never honored you. And here is the uncomfortable truth most men avoid. Some people only desire you when you are unavailable, because availability was the only thing they valued. When you remove it, nothing remains. That clarity hurts, but it also liberates. Stopping the chase does not guarantee that everyone returns. It guarantees something more important. You return to yourself. In the final part, we will define the discipline of non-chasing as a permanent identity, not a temporary strategy, and why, once you cross that line, you can never go back. The discipline of non-chasing as a permanent identity. The moment you stop chasing is not the end of a tactic. It is the beginning of a new identity. And this is where most men fail. They treat non-chasing as a move, something to use until the other person responds. That is not power. That is delayed need. True power begins when you no longer measure outcomes by who comes back. Machiavelli understood that identity is destiny. A man who sees himself as the pursuer will always feel restless. A man who sees himself as the prize will always move with gravity. The difference is not arrogance. It is self-containment. When non-chasing becomes your baseline, several irreversible shifts occur. First, you stop explaining. You no longer justify silence. You no longer soften boundaries. You no longer rush to repair discomfort. This alone places you above most men because explanation is a form of seeking permission. Power does not ask to be understood. It allows misunderstanding. Second, your emotional economy stabilizes. You are no longer spending energy to regulate someone else's attention. You are no longer checking, waiting, or anticipating. Your mind becomes quieter, and quiet minds make better decisions. Third, you become selective without effort. You don't need rules. You don't need strategies. Your nervous system rejects imbalance automatically. When someone pulls away, you don't chase. When someone disrespects you, you don't negotiate. You simply disengage. Not dramatically, not bitterly, just decisively. This is where fear enters. Fear that you'll be alone. Fear that you'll miss out. Fear that you'll lose opportunities. These fears are echoes of your old identity. They fade with repetition. The truth is simple. Men who don't chase are not alone. They are unavailable to chaos. They attract differently, slower, deeper, with fewer illusions. And yes, some people will resent this version of you. They will call you distant, cold, uninterested. That resentment is proof that your availability once served them more than it served you. Machiavelli warned that power isolates before it protects. You will lose people who only valued your effort. You will disappoint those who depended on your pursuit. Let them go. Power is not meant to be crowded. The final test is this. When someone you once chased returns, not with effort, but with nostalgia, will you fall back into old patterns, or will you remain still? If you move, you lose. If you stay, you win. Not over them, but over yourself. Non-chasing is not indifference. It is alignment. You are no longer trying to be chosen. You are choosing where your energy belongs. And once you live this way, chasing feels foreign, beneath you, exhausting. The man who does not chase is not admired because he is distant. He is admired because he is whole. Stillness is not emptiness. It is power that no longer needs to move.